Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to the Moodo's Castle. I am the queen of the Moodo's Castle, and my name is Gina. I'm going to be sharing our labor and delivery story. And I think this is one God really wanted me to talk about because this is not the first time that I am talking about my labor and delivery experience. I've actually talked about this in another video, but I ended up deleting the clip. I don't remember when or how or why, but I deleted the clip. And God really just wanted me to talk about this again because throughout my labor and delivery experience, there is a message in there for somebody. The doctor had given my due date for August 8th, but the due date passed and I was still pregnant. And by the time I had my daughter, I was at 41 weeks and about 3 or 4 days. I can't quite remember exactly how many days, but I had already gone past my due date. So my husband and I decided to go into the hospital for an induction. With that in mind, I decided to take some time off work and I took the 16 and 17 off. In preparation for the induction, we called the hospital and made our intentions known to them, and we scheduled an appointment for 8 a.m. I went ahead to set my alarm for 6 a.m. to give me enough time to get ready. The night before, I packed all of the baby clothes, all of my clothes, and whatever clothes my husband needed because we were doing everything together. My husband went ahead to take some time off work as well because we were confident we were going to have the baby on the 17th, the day I was supposed to get induced. So when my alarm rang at 6 a.m., I woke up and I told my husband I was scared. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I was not ready, even though we had discussed it the previous night. So my husband went ahead and told me that if that's what I want, then he's fine with it. So after that short conversation, we both went back to bed. And while I fell asleep, I had a vision. In that vision, I saw myself in the hospital, on the hospital bed, and I saw how things got really complicated. But I was also sitting there seeing myself on a hospital bed, and I was at peace. So I understood that to be God saying, it's okay. Whatever happens, I will take care. So I told my husband, you know what? Let's go ahead and go to the hospital. I'm ready. I changed my mind. We're going. And my husband said, are you sure? I said, yep, I am sure. So we got ready really quick. I called the hospital and I told them, I'm sorry, I slept in. I will be right there. So we were about an hour or two late for our appointment. When we got to the hospital, we were assigned to a room, a really nice big room. I did a tour of that room. I think I'll just put a clip somewhere. Um, if I still have the clip because I was actually trying to edit the vlog that I made on that day. It was a very short vlog because things got really crazy. The nurse came in, went over the housekeeping rules of the hospital and everything. And they got me started off on some really tiny pills. I don't remember what they were called or what they are called till this day. I don't remember. I just know that I was on a lot of fluid, took a lot of medication. Um, so around, was it 7 8 p.m ish, the medication that they gave me started to affect my body. It kicked me into labor, but I wasn't having serious contractions. I was having minor contractions really fast, so close together, but they were not strong enough to kick start my body into labor. However, it turns out that these contractions were affecting my daughter. So as my body was having these quick contractions, she was working herself up as well, like getting ready to come out. But it was not real contractions. So it was kind of complicated. Fast forward hours later, the medication that they gave me completely stopped working. But at this point, my body has already gotten the message to go into labor. I started having some really serious contractions that I can't explain. My husband was there. He massaged my back. He did everything he could. None of it helped. It was so painful. Like I don't know how to describe the experience that I had. It went on like that for hours. I couldn't sleep the entire night. Walking was so painful. Laying down was so painful. Sitting was so painful. Everything was painful and it hurt so bad. So I managed to get through the night around 6 a.m. Then the morning nurse came in and started to check in on me. It turned out that the contractions that I was having were painful, yes, but they were not helping. And I was not dilated at all. My baby was still really high up. So the nurse suggested she breaks my water. So she went ahead and put her hand in there with a tube and broke my water. As she broke my water, it turned out that my daughter had pooped in the belly and was drinking the dirty water. She put in a liquid and cleaned it off. I still was not having the baby. My heartbeat was dropping and my baby's heartbeat was dropping. Everything was going wrong. I was worried, sad, and my husband and my mom were right there. And they were just praying because stuff was getting really out of hand. At some point in the afternoon on the 18th, which was Friday, one of the doctors came in and checked. My situation was really bad. She suggested I have a C-section. And I said, no, God forbid, I will have my baby like the Hebrew woman. I will not be having no C-section. Get out of my room. I kicked her out. A couple hours later, I was 8 centimeters dilated, but my baby's head was still really high up here. It did feel like my belly had dropped, but it hadn't dropped enough for her to come out. My pelvic bones were too tight. The baby couldn't come out. The baby couldn't pass through them. All the doctors and all the nurses came into the room and said I needed to have a C-section because if I continue to try to wait and have this baby the way I want to, the baby or me might not survive. So I said, okay, give me some time to think. I told the doctors and nurses to give me a couple of hours. Let me try to see if I can handle it. At this point, there was a tube in my stomach to keep track of the baby's heartbeat. There was a tube to keep track of contractions because they needed to urgently keep track of the baby's heartbeat as it was dropping. And then they put a tube in my bladder because I could not get out of bed. So I had to pee through a tube. I could not eat. I told the doctors I was not going to have a C-section. So because I was going through so much pain, a lot of pain, I could not handle it. The pain was too much. Even though I was 8 centimeters dilated, having contractions that was so painful, I still had not had my baby. I'm not going to cry because she's 6 months old now. I'm not going to cry. I tried for hours to contain the pain. I tried. But at the end of the day, I asked for the epidural. They gave me the epidural for a couple more hours. There was a point where I wanted to turn and I couldn't. And they were scared that I will hurt myself. All of the doctors, about 5, 6, 7 doctors came in, try to help me flip because it was so bad. I could not even move. I was basically handicapped. Even with the epidural, I still felt a lot of pain. So around 4:30, I told my husband, you know what? This is a matter of life and death. I need to choose whether I want to save this child or have a Hebrew woman delivery story to tell. So I'm going to have the C-section. He was like, thank God, because he's seen everything that I'm going through. It just wasn't funny anymore. So my husband said, okay, fine. He's going to call the doctors. They came in and I told them what I wanted. And they gave me some documents to go through, all the risk and everything involved. Around 5 p.m., they came in and took me to the OR, the operation room. And the same doctor that I kicked out hours earlier came in and did the surgery. Took about 30 minutes. She did the surgery, stitched me up, and I was done. I was not done. My baby came out, could not breathe. Her lungs had the water that she had swallowed when she was in my stomach. She swallowed water, the poop water. So they had to take her away from me. I did not see her. I only saw her picture. I did not see her for hours. So they had to clean up all of the water in her lungs and help stabilize her breathing. So she was in the NICU for about 2-3 days before we left the hospital. The newborn pictures I have of my daughter, she has wires all over her body. I just want to really appreciate all of the doctors and all of the nurses at Fairview Hospital in Woodbury. Like, those people put in so much work and they showed me so much love, care, and concern. Not just me, but my family, my husband and my mom. I just want to appreciate them because they helped save my life, save my daughter's life. They handled us with so much urgency. It was so amazing. The nurses in the NICU were also really amazing. They took really good care of my daughter. Um, I couldn't walk right away, so my husband would take me on a wheelchair to go into the NICU and see our baby. I remember my husband spending his entire time in the NICU just to play with her and just love on her. We went into the NICU and stayed there. All the newborn pictures that we have with our daughter were taken in the NICU because she wasn't in there almost the entire time we were at the hospital. Before we left the hospital, we spent one night with her and we came home. And when we came home, I had to heal from my incision. I had to go through a whole, I felt so much pain, like on the incision area, so much pain. It was not just when we got home, at the hospital as well. It hurt so bad. I took ibuprofen and Tylenol combined, about 300 milligrams each. I can't quite remember the numbers, but I had to take those to help me feel better. The pain was out of this world. I had never felt pain like that before. It hurt so bad. And my baby also had to take formula for the first couple of weeks. And that hurt as well. It hurt so bad because I tried to breastfeed. My nipple was kind of weird. I struggled to get her to latch on the breast, and it was another story. After a couple of weeks, she was able to latch. And as she was latching, the incision area hurt so much. But gradually, it started to heal. And here we are. She's 6 months old. And I don't feel any pain on my incision area anymore. It is healed. It's completely healed. I can exercise a little bit, but I still have to be careful. It does take a lot of time to heal. I can make another video talking about the healing process of the incisions, life after a C-section, really. I think that's a whole nother video. But this is my delivery story. This is my labor and delivery story. I really hope that you learned something, and that through my story, my experience, you know that God is real. God is more real than anything, more real than you can ever imagine. There are times that it seems impossible to believe, but I am telling you that God is real. Believe me, God is real. I saw my life flash right in front of me, and I am sitting here in the glory of God, and I'm telling you that God is real. Whatever it is that you are going through, God will take you through it. He will give you the strength, He will give you the guidance, He will give you the wisdom. Trust Him. Just trust God. His mercies are new every morning, and His grace is sufficient for you. I survived without crying. This is because I cried in the first video I recorded and randomly deleted. If you've had a baby before, what was your labor and delivery experience like? Was it good? Was it bad? Some people have it easy, they like it, but no. Please be sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications so you don't miss any videos on this channel. Okay? Bye.